notice how the words we use, or maybe how a news story is framed, can subtly shift your perspective, or even change the whole feel of an interaction?
Absolutely. It's quite striking when you pay attention. Yeah.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something really fascinating: discourse analysis. We're looking at insights from thinkers like Norman Fairclough, and our mission really is to unpack how language isn't just, a tool for communication.
Why? It's much more than that.
It's a powerful force shaping our social world. Think of it maybe as a shortcut to understanding the hidden mechanics of influence in, everything you read, hear, and say.
And what's really key here, I think, is that discourse analysis views any discursive event, like a conversation or a news article, in a three-dimensional way.
3 dimensions. Okay?
Yeah. So first, it's a piece of text, obviously, but it's also an instance of discursive practice. It's about how it's produced and how it's interpreted.
How it's made and understood. Got it.
Exactly. And crucially, it's also an instance of social practice.
Okay, the social bit. What does that cover?
Well, that's about how it actually shapes institution, social relationships, basically society itself. So your language use isn't just passive description, it's a form of social action. It acts upon the world and other people.
Wow. Okay, that's a huge ideal. Language is social action. So this isn't just some, abstract academic thing then?
Not at all.
Social theory even talks about the linguistic turn, right? To describe this shift. What exactly does that mean for how we understand social change?
Precisely the linguistic turn. It signifies this really pivotal shift in thinking, recognizing language not just as reflecting change, but actually driving it.
Driving it?
Yes, many significant social changes are in fact constituted by shifts in language practices. Think about commodification.
Okay.
You see it in sectors like education or healthcare, right? They now commonly use market terminology. Learners become consumers or clients.
Right? Or patients become customers. Sometimes.
Exactly. Courses become products or packages. And this isn't just like swapping words. It fundamentally restructures how these services are conceived, how they're delivered, who holds power within them.
That's a really powerful example. So it's not just what we say, but the new language itself redefines relationships and power structures. I remember reading about this in the workplace too, with post-Fortis models, moving away from rigid factory lines.
Yeah, towards more team-based work. And they emphasize things like communication skills, quality circles. So these new ways of talking directly shape new work cultures and perhaps new forms of social control, aiming for more self-steering workers.
That's exactly it. And this raises a really important question. How does language actually achieve this subtle influence?
Yeah. How does it work?
Well, discourse analysis gives us specific tools. One key concept is intertextuality. It's the idea that texts are, full of bits and pieces of other texts.
Snatches of other texts.
Sometimes explicitly quoted. Sometimes they're just sort of merged, implicitly woven in. Think about newspaper headlines.
Okay.
Something like "call up forces in drug battle." It might blend the paper's own voice with, say, an implied official demand or document. Creates a kind of ambivalence of voice.
Yeah. So you're not quite sure who's speaking.
Exactly. Or another example, like Dee's butler bows out in sneakers. That kind of headline blurs the line between public and private life, which reflects a much broader media trend.
That's fascinating. So texts are almost suddenly collaborating or echoing each other, even without direct quotes. What other tools help us see these dynamics?
Another crucial one is modality.
Modality.
Yeah, it's about how we express certainty or possibility. You know the difference between saying something may be true versus it is true.
Right? Definite versus possible.
And in media, you often see very categorical assertions. A particular perspective is presented as just, undeniable fact. It's not just grammar, it's the subtle art of framing opinion as truth. It shapes your reality without you maybe even noticing it.
Wow, that's subtle.
And even in everyday talk, the rules around who gets to speak when, who controls the topic,
Turn-taking.
right, turn-taking topic control, they reveal power dynamics. Think about doctor-patient interactions. They've shifted, haven't they, towards more conversational styles, maybe incorporating elements of counseling.
Yeah, seems less formal sometimes.
And while this seems to give the patient more control, or at least voice, the doctor often still holds the ultimate authority, subtly steering the conversation where they need it to go.
That's a great point about subtle control. But I wonder, could that shift towards being more conversational also genuinely empower patients in some ways?
Yeah.
Even if the doctor keeps that final authority?
Oh, absolutely. It's rarely black and white. These shifts often involve a really complex negotiation of power. Traditional hierarchies might soften, but yeah, the fundamental authority can persist, just in more nuanced forms.
Right. It's layered.
That's what makes discourse so fascinating. And if we zoom out, look at the bigger picture, we can maybe see three major tendencies in contemporary discourse. Sometimes they overlap.
Okay, what are they?
First, there's democratization, a sort of weakening of overt hierarchies in language, like more acceptance of non-standard accents in public roles, or institutions using more informal language.
What's Duffy?
Kind of second commodification, which we touched on this pervasive colonization of different areas by advertising style talk, university, selling products to consumers, banks, marketing services.
Everything is a product.
Increasingly, yes. And third, technologization. This is the conscious engineering of language, like specific interview techniques, communication skills, training designed to achieve strategic goals. It shows a powerful link between knowing about language and, well, social control.
That's quite a list. Democratization, commodification, technologization. And what's really interesting, as you said, is how they can converge. Democratization and commodification, for instance, both can implicitly construct this idea of a more autonomous, maybe self-steering individual who is often framed as a consumer with agency and choice.
Precisely. So these trends aren't isolated. They often work together in really complex ways.
Understanding all these layers, these tools of discourse analysis, it really helps you become a more critical interpreter of the world around you, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It gives you a lens to see things you might otherwise miss.
So the next time you hear a news report or read an ad, or even just have a casual conversation, maybe take a moment to consider what hidden assumptions are being made about you, about the situation.
And what power dynamics are really at play. And maybe even think about how your own words might be shaping the social fabric around you.
There's always more to learn, it seems, in this dynamic interplay between language and society.